Hello students, in this video I'm going to do some statistics. We'll be concentrating only on the dot diagram and the stem and the leaf diagram. Right, so let's start off by looking at the DOT diagram. Supposing you are a farmer and you have collected 21 apples from your farm, and you have actually measured all these apples in terms of their masses. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to represent this data on a dot diagram. But before we do that, I'm going to use this data to show you how we can create a frequency table, because in statistics, sometimes we're asked to represent the data using a frequency table. Right, so if you look at the 21 apples, the smallest, or we wouldn't say the smallest, sorry, the lightest of all, it's 116 grams, and the heaviest is 130 grams. Right, so how do you actually group them in a frequency table? So let's start off by looking how many apples have 116 gram at its mass. Right, so that will be 1, and that's it, 1. So frequency is 1. So how do you represent 1 as tally? Yeah, it's just 1 like that. Okay, it's just like that. Okay, so let's go on to the next mass. That is 117, and apparently 117 also, that's only 1 apple. Okay, so that's done. And then let's go on to 119. So 119, there'll be 1, also 1. Okay, never mind, also 1 apple that have mass 119. Let's look at 120. There will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, very good. So I have 4 apples. Each has a mass of 120 grams. Right, so how do I represent 4 in tally? It's just, 4 vertical lines. Okay, and then let's look at 121. 121, we have 1, 2, 3. All right. 122, we have more. 122, we have more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so how do you represent 6 in the form of a tally? So every 5, okay, as a bundle. Right, so 6 means 5 plus 1. So you start off by having 1, 2, 3, 4, and you bundle it up. We have a slanted line. Okay, so that is bundle of 5, and another one. So that will give you 6. Okay, that's how you do the tally. Right, so you go on to 123, 124, 125, 130, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is called a frequency table. Right, frequency table. And how do you represent it? Using a DOT, the dot diagram. So this is how you do it. You basically draw a horizontal line. Ta-da! Right, and you must arrange the mass in ascending order from the lightest to the heaviest, and you do not skip any one of them. Right, meaning if you were to look at the frequency table, that it's no apple that have mass 126, 127, 128, 129, but you do not skip them. That means when you arrange all this number on the number line, you must arrange it in order, in ascending. So 116, 117, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129, and the last one is 130. Okay, this is how you do it. All right, so if you look at 116, there's only one miserable apple that has mass 116. So you use a little dot. That's called the dot, D-O-T diagram. And then 117 is also a dot. 119 is also a dot. 120 are 4 dots. Okay, in a particular line. 121, 3 dots. 122, it's 1. 122 is, sorry, 122 are 6 dots altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, it's 1 dot. 1, 2, 4, 2 dots. Yep. And 1, 2, 5 is 1. And 1, 2, 6, no. So leave it alone. 1, 2, 7, no. 1, 2, 8, no. 1, 2, 9, no. And 1, 3, 0, that's 1 dot. All right, so this is called the dot diagram. Right, so after collecting the data and putting them on the dot diagram, we want to analyze the data, right? That's the reason of why we want to collect the data. We want to analyze it so that we can actually make improvement or make some decisions, okay, based on the data collected. So we asked to describe briefly the distributions of the masses of the apples, right? So if you look at the apples, I think they are not consistent, right? The mass actually varies from 116 to 130, right? And it seems to have a clusters at 122 because 122 has 6 apples that have 122 grams, right? And then there is no apple that have mass 126, 127, 128, and 129. And the 130 seems to be the heaviest of all, seems to be an outliner. An outliner is something that it's out of the picture. I think that's called the outliner. All right, so you can explain it this way. All right, the values vary between 116 and 130 grams. However, the data is clustered around the 122 gram. There's no data from 126 to 129, and 130 grams seems to be the outliner. It seems that it's the only one that is heaviest. All right, so sometimes advertisers like to trick you into buying the apples, and then it advertised that 80% of the apples are heavier than 120 grams. Right, so is this claim true based on the data given? Right, so if you have learned dot diagram or any other form of diagram, and then if you were to arrange this data, you will see that you can actually use your knowledge, your mathematical knowledge, right, to whether agree with the advertised statement or disagree with it. Right, so if you look at the dotted diagram, apparently we only have how many apples that are heavier than 12 grams? Yes, the one highlighted in yellow for you. The one highlighted in yellow for you are those apples that have this is not number of apples, wrong, sorry. This one should be the mass of the apple. Alright, so the title is important so that we do not mislead others. Okay, so if you count the number of dots that I have there, it's actually 14. So 14 out of 21 apples times 100% is only 66 2/3%, which obviously is not equals to 80%. Alright, so therefore the claim is false. Alright, so don't, if you want to buy the apples from this farmer, don't buy, okay, it's not true. Okay. Right, let's look at the stem and leaf diagram. Alright, so I've shown on the screen one small leaves and a one bigger one. Alright, so what is stem and leaf diagram? Right, so supposing I'm going to analyze the scores of some students, right? How many of them? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 3, 24. So the shown on the table are 24 students, the scores of 24 students, and I'm going to arrange it in the stem and leaf diagram. So what is a stem and leaf diagram? Yes. So we need, first of all, need to have a horizontal line and a vertical line, right? And then divide it into the stem and leaf. So stem, basically, it's referred to this part here. This is called the stem. And the leaf is here. Okay, right. So how do you arrange it? So if you look at the scores, right, you see that the lowest score starts from 53. Is it 53? Yes. The lowest score starts from 53. And then go on to 54. And then the highest score is actually 95. Right. So you can arrange, that means 53, that means the 53 comprises of two numbers. So you can put 5 as a stem and 3 as the leaf. So the stems will comprises of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so we have how many students that score in the 50 range? You have one that is 53 and then 2 54. Right, how about the 60? Right, 60, I have one. Oh, I have nobody scoring in the 60 range. 70, I have more people. I have wow, 71. 71, I have 2 fellows. 73, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fellows. 73 got 2 fellows. 79 got 1 fellows. Okay. Let me arrange all, no, not arrange, erase all this. It's very untidy. I don't like untidiness. Okay, and then how about the 80 range? Yes, I have people scoring 80, 81, 82, 83, 2% scoring 86, 1 scoring 88. How about 90? Yes, I have 1 person scoring 91, 1 scoring 95, and 1 scoring 97. Right, so other than presenting it in this format, you also need to tell people what the stem and the leaf represent. Right, so you need to give the key. Right, so 5 vertical line 3 means 53. So if people look at this, it means the score is 70 marks. All right, so this is the stem and leaf diagram. Right, so using this representation, the stem and the leaf diagram, let's answer some questions. Supposing you asked to state the model score. So you need to understand what does model score means. Basically, it means the most popular score. It means the most, what do you mean by most popular score? It's a score that the most number of students getting that score. So if you look at the stem and leaf diagram, you see that the number 72 appears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 72 appeared the most number of times as compared to 53 or 54 or 70 or 73 or 86 or whatever. So therefore 72 is the model score. Okay, it's called the most popular score. And then part B, state the medium score. Okay, this one is a bit tricky. The medium score refer to the score scored by the two middle position. So there are 24 students altogether. So the two middle positions will be 24 divided by 2. That gives you the 12 and the 13th position. All right, 24 is an even number. So if it's an even number, you would have 2 middle position. Okay, 24 divided by 2, the 12 and the 13th one. If it's an odd number, let's say for example an odd number, which is what is an odd number? Let's say 7. Then the middle position would be the 4th position. 7 divided by 2 gives you 3.5, right? You just round it up to be the 4th position. That is when it's an odd number. Odd number has only 1 middle position. Even there will be 2, right? So how do I go about fishing out your 12th and the 13th position? Right, so this is how you do it. Look at the stem and leaf diagram. Yep. So number 3 will be your first position. Okay, number 4 is your second, third. All right. 6, there's no data, so you skip. Come to 7. 70 will be the 4th position. 71 is the 5th, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So therefore, the 12th and the 13th position happens to be at score 80 and 81. Okay, right. So therefore, the medium score is 80 plus 81 divided by 2 gives you 80.5. So that means, first of all, you have to go and identify your 2 middle position. Go to that 2 middle position, take out the score, add them together, divide by 2. That's how you find your medium score. Sometimes the questions will ask you to find the mean score. Mean score meaning the average score. So we need to take all the total score divided by the number of students. So total score means, right, so that's 153. That's 254. So 53 plus 54 times 2. That's no 60. That's 170. And that it's 271. So 71 times 2. they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 72, so 72 times 5, so on and so forth. You get the total 1827 divided by 24 students. So the mean score or the average score is 76.1, and that is a distinction, right? Okay, let's look at an exam questions. Right, Alvin measured the length of 28 leaves. Must be very free. Go and collect all these leaves and measure the length. And the results are shown in the stem and leaf. Okay, we should not say that. Maybe he's doing some experiment, growing some plants and things like that. Okay, shown in the stem and leaf diagram. All right, what was the length of the longest leaf? Yes, the longer leaves will be, okay, first of all, we need to understand the key, very important, we need to understand. So 5 vertical line 4 means 5.4 cm, right? So the longest leaf will be 8, this guy here, which is 8.7 cm. So understanding the key is very important. Okay, first thing first, must understand the key. Right, so the longest leaf is 8.7. So what do you think is the shortest leaf? Yes, the shortest leaf will be 5.1. All right, and then you ask to find the medium. All right, so there are 28 leaves. It's an odd number. So the 2 middle positions will be 28 divided by 2 gives you 14, and the 15th position. Right, so as what we have done earlier on. Right, so let's start counting. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one will be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This will be the 14th position, the 15th. All right, so the 14th position will be 6.9. The 15th position will be 7.1. So we add these two different lengths together. Oh, I make a mistake here. Yes, it should be 6.9. That's why it's important to understand the key. And 7.1. Then divide by 2. So the answer you get to be 7 centimeter. Okay, exact value. So it's very important. So it's good thing I make this mistake so that I can remind you, all right, not to make the same mistake as me. Yep. 14 divided by 2 is 7, correct. Okay, and part C, all right, again, we are told that this Alvin, Yaya told his friends that more than 25% of the leaves were longer than 8 centimeter. Right, so is the statement correct? So let's see, longer than 8 centimeter. Let's see how many of them there. Yes. Let's erase all this. All right, so more than 8 centimeter, there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of them. Right, so 6 over total 28 divided by 100 is only 21.4%. So our dear Alvin is not truthful. So the statement is incorrect. Okay, right. So this is how you do the dot diagram and the stem and leaf diagram. Right. What we've gone through are some very elementary questions. Sometimes these questions will incorporate standard deviation. That this will you learn standard deviations when you reach a higher level like set 4.